Hello students, let's continue with next topics. We have covered autotrophs. Now let's study about heterotrophic nutrition. So heterotrophic nutrition. The word heterotrophic is a combination of two words, that is hetero plus trophs. Hetero means others and troph means nourishment. So basically if an organism depends on others for their food, it is called the heterotrophic nutrition. And animals cannot make their food by themselves, so they basically depends upon plants for their food. Therefore, nutrition in animals is called heterotrophic nutrition, and those animals which depends upon other plants for their food are known as heterotrophs. So modes of nutrition in non-green plants, that is heterotrophic mode of nutrition in plants. There are some plants that also depends upon other plants for their food, so that mode is known as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So some plants do not have the chlorophyll, hence they cannot synthesize their food by themselves. Such plants are known as non-green plants. They depend on other organisms for their food. Such plants use the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Some of them are called parasites. So other modes of nutrition in plants are, first is parasitic plants. Parasitic plants are the plants which do not have chlorophyll and cannot prepare their own food. They get their food from the other plants, which is known as host. For example, we know or we had heard this plant name amarbel, which is also known as cascata. The plant from which a parasite gets its food is called a host. Some parasitic plants like mistletoe plant, which grow on trees such as mango and have green leaves and can synthesize their food, they can take water or they take water and minerals from the host plants. They are also known as, or they are known as, partial parasites. Here are few examples for the parasite plants. First is, this is dodder. They suck nutrition from other plants. This is mistletoe, which is partially depends upon the plants for the minerals. This is amarbel. So next type of nutrition is insectivorous plant. These are the plants which consumes insects as their food. Yes, they eat insects to secrete the nutrition from them. For example, pitcher plant. The leaf of the pitcher plant is modified into a pitcher. The end of the pitcher has a lid which can open and close. So when an insect enters the pitcher, the lid closes, the insect gets entangled in the hair. The cells of the pitcher plant secrete digestive juices to digest the insect. So these plants grow in a soil that is not so rich. They use the nutrition obtained from the insects to supplement the food they prepare by photosynthesis. So these plants also prepare their food by photosynthesis, but the soil is not so rich, so they use the nutrition which they obtain from the insects to supplement the food as they prepare their food by photosynthesis. Next type is saprotrophs. Saprotrophs are the plants which do not have chlorophyll and cannot prepare their own food. They get their food from dead and decaying organic matter. For example, mushrooms, bread mold, etc. So basically they don't have chlorophyll, they don't have green pigment, they cannot prepare their own food. They get their food from the dead and decaying organic solid matter. So what they do is, they secrete digestive juice on the dead and decaying organic matter and convert it from solid matter into a liquid and then absorb the nutrients from the liquid. This method of getting nutrients from dead and decaying matter in the form of a liquid is known as saprotrophic nutrition, and they are known as saprotrophs. Our next is symbiotic relationship. So, symbiotic relationship is when some plants live together and share shelter and nutrients, that is known as, which is beneficial. A relationship which is beneficial for both is known as symbiotic relationship. For example, lichens. In lichens, an alga which is a saprophyte and a fungus which is an autotroph live together. The fungus provides shelter, water and minerals to the alga, and alga provides food to the fungus which it prepares by photosynthesis. So, such relationship which is beneficial for the both is known as symbiosis. So, our next topic is how nutrients are replenished in the soil. As plants absorb nutrients from the soil, so the nutrients in the soil decreases. So, farmers add manures, fertilizers to the soil to increase the nutrients of the soil. These manures and fertilizers contain plant nutrients such as nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. A farmer knows which nutrients are crucial for which crops and adds manures, fertilizers accordingly. Most crops require a lot of nitrogen. To make proteins. After the crop is harvested, the soil becomes deficient in nitrogen. So, you have already studied about the rhizobium, the bacterium called rhizobium which lives in the root of leguminous plant like grams, peas, beans, etc. converts the nitrogen from the air into soluble form in the soil and makes the soil rich in nitrogen. In return, plant provides food and shelter to the bacteria. So, they have a symbiotic relationship. So, we get most of the pulses from leguminous plants. Farmers know that they don't need to add nitrogenous fertilizers in the soil in which leguminous plants are grown. So, here is one activity based on this chapter. The activity is to observe the fungus bread mold in a bread. Firstly, take a piece of bread and moisten it with water and leave it in the warm place for 2-3 days till fluffy patches appears on them. Observe the patches under a magnifying glass of microscope. Cotton-like threads are seen on the bread. The cotton-like threads are the fungus bread mold. Bread mold is a saprotroph. Saprotrophs get their food from dead and decaying organic matter. So, this is all for your chapter.